If you want wealth, if you want lasting success, you must take a long, hard look at how you live each day. Because success does not arrive by luck, and wealth is never handed to the man who does not command his own hours. There are no secrets. There is no magic. There is only structure. And that structure must begin with the daily routine you choose to follow or ignore. Every man has the same 24 hours, but not every man uses them with the same intention. And therein lies the difference between the man who lives in mediocrity and the one who commands influence, prosperity, and freedom. What are you doing with the hours the world gives you? That is not a passive question. That is the very formula by which your destiny is decided. You see, your routine is either your ladder or your anchor. It is either pulling you upward toward the man you were born to be, or it is chaining you to patterns that keep you average. You cannot afford to let your days happen to you. You must design them. You must program your mind to take control from the moment your feet hit the floor in the morning until the moment you rest your head at night. Do not underestimate this. The man who owns his morning owns his mind, and the man who owns his mind owns his life. You must stop starting your day like the masses, reactive, scattered, unfocused. The average man wakes up and reaches for distraction. The wealthy man wakes up and reaches for direction. Let me tell you plainly, if the first thing you consume in the morning is noise, opinions, or entertainment, you have already handed over the reins of your mind. You have allowed the world to dictate your focus before you even decided what you value. That is not power. That is passivity. And you cannot build success on passivity. Success begins in silence. It begins with intention. It begins with a man who understands that the first hour of his day belongs to him, not to the world. That hour must be sacred. It must be protected. That hour is your throne room, your place to reaffirm who you are, where you are going, and why it matters. During this time, you reflect. You read, you write, you affirm, you set your intentions. You move your body. You breathe deeply. You visualize the outcome you are committed to producing, not the one you fear. This is not a ritual for pleasure. It is a weapon for clarity. It is how you train your subconscious mind to follow orders, not emotions. You must understand this about the subconscious. It does not respond to suggestion once. It responds to repetition. That means if you tell yourself who you are once and then spend the rest of the day contradicting that message through poor habits, you have built nothing. You cannot program your future with a half-hearted voice. You must declare it with consistency and then prove it with action. That is why the routine matters. It is not just about discipline. It is about identity. The man who follows a routine of growth becomes a man of strength. The man who follows a routine of distraction becomes a man of confusion. Look at a man's habits, and I will tell you what kind of future he is building long before the world sees it. So ask yourself, what is my routine doing to me? Is it sharpening my focus or dulling it? Is it building momentum or stealing it? Is it lifting me or slowly eroding my confidence? Let us start with the morning. If you are not rising early, you are already at a disadvantage. Not because the morning is magical, but because quiet hours breed control. When the world is still asleep, there are no demands, no noise, no obligations, just space for you to decide who you are and how you will show up. Do not waste these hours. Wake up early, not because you have to, but because you have chosen to lead your life, not follow it. Begin with stillness, not stimulation. Stretch your body, because a rigid body leads to a rigid mind. Read something that uplifts your spirit. Write something that sharpens your clarity. Speak affirmations aloud that build your conviction. Then Plan. Not loosely, not casually, with precision, with thought. What are the vital few tasks that move your life forward today? Not the endless list of busy work, but the few actions that, when done consistently, compound into a life of achievement. Your routine must be built around these. You must learn to respect your own time. If you do not honor your calendar, others will fill it with their agenda. If you do not command your hours, you will be enslaved by chaos. Your freedom is found in structure. Your creativity is found in discipline. Now, let me say this. Structure is not restriction. It is liberation. Because once you no longer have to ask yourself what to do next, your mind is free to operate at its highest level. Decision fatigue is the enemy of greatness, and a well-programmed routine is your solution. The middle of your day should not be left to chance. Once you've begun with clarity, you must defend your momentum. This means blocking out time to go deep on your priorities. It means protecting your attention from the endless temptations of distraction, messages, low-value conversations. These are the termites that quietly eat away at your greatness. You must work in batches. Focused sprints of effort. No man can stay at peak intensity for 8 straight hours. But any man can produce excellence in focused intervals if he respects his energy. You must learn your rhythm and build your day around it. Feed your body well. Fuel your brain. Do not skip meals or drown yourself in stimulants. You are not a machine. You are a vessel for excellence. Treat yourself accordingly. Hydrate. Move. Breathe. You cannot think clearly if your body is starving for vitality. And when the fatigue sets in, and it will, you do not reach for the easy escape. You pause. You reset. You take a walk. You recenter your mind. You do not numb your brain. You do not scroll endlessly. You do not run from discomfort. You face it, and then you return to the mission. Now, what of the evening? Most men waste this time in front of screens, escaping the very life they claim they are trying to build. This is foolishness. Your evening must be just as intentional as your morning, because how you end the day writes the script for how you will begin the next one. You must review your performance. What did you accomplish? What did you avoid? Where did you fall short? And more importantly, why? This is not self-judgment. This is self-mastery. The man who cannot confront his own inefficiency will never conquer his potential. Then prepare. Lay out tomorrow before it arrives. Decide tonight what tomorrow will feel like. When you wake up, there should be no guesswork. Your mission should already be clear. Your mind should already be aligned. Lastly, unwind with wisdom. Read. Reflect. Speak gratitude aloud. Not because life is perfect, but because you are committed to progress. Fall asleep with purpose, not exhaustion. And do it every night, not once in a while, not when it's easy. Every single night, because that is how you become unstoppable. Success is not something you chase. It is something you program. It is not something you wait for. It is something you command. The man who repeats excellence daily will attract a life that looks extraordinary to others, but it will feel ordinary to him. Why? Because he has trained himself to expect it. Now listen to me. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. And your daily routine is the most powerful system you will ever build. If it is weak, you will be weak. If it is strong, you will be unshakable. This is not about perfection. This is about alignment. When your days align with your values, and your actions align with your vision, life begins to reward you. Opportunities appear. Energy multiplies. Wealth flows, not by accident, but by architecture. Reprogram your routine, and you reprogram your future, and no one else can do it for you. Do not deceive yourself into believing that greatness is the result of a single breakthrough moment. No, it is the result of 1,000 disciplined days. The world does not reward wishful thinking. It rewards those who prepare. And preparation is built into your daily routine, or it is not built at all. You may ask, how can I live with discipline when life throws so many unexpected challenges at me? And the answer is this. You build such a strong foundation through your habits that the unexpected cannot knock you off your path. The man who has a system, a structure, a strategy, he can be bent, but not broken. You are not meant to drift. You are meant to direct. Most people are wandering through life with no clear map, no vision, no structure. They are reacting to the world rather than shaping it. But the successful man, he does not operate that way. He is not a leaf blown by the wind. He is the architect of his world. This is why I insist that you take responsibility for every minute of your day. Because when you do, the universe responds. It begins to align people, events, and opportunities that match your inner clarity. But that alignment cannot happen if you yourself are living in chaos. Let me speak to you as plainly as I can. Your routine must be so clear, so intentional, and so aligned with your purpose that it becomes unshakable. Your schedule should reflect your deepest priorities. If it does not, then your life is not your own. Too many people say they want wealth, they want success, they want peace of mind, and yet their routines are filled with consumption, distraction, avoidance, and indecision. How can you expect extraordinary outcomes when your inputs are ordinary, scattered, and reactive? Start with your intentions, but follow with implementation. It is not enough to read inspiring words in the morning. You must translate that inspiration into execution. You must take the energy you gather and pour it into meaningful effort. Without this step, you are only daydreaming. The mind, like any tool, must be directed. A sharp blade left unused does nothing. So too with your mental strength. Once sharpened by your morning ritual, your task is to wield it. What are you building today? What problem are you solving? What resistance are you confronting? That leads us to the next pillar of a powerful routine. Confronting resistance daily. You must stop avoiding the hard things. Stop waiting until you feel like it. Discipline is not about how you feel. It's about what you decide. And the most successful men are those who make decisions rooted in vision, not in emotion. Each day, you must do one thing that is uncomfortable, one thing that forces you to grow, one thing that pulls you forward. This trains your nervous system to handle stress without panic. It trains your willpower to obey the mind, not the mood. There is no greatness without discomfort. There is no wealth without responsibility. You must become the kind of man who chooses the harder path, not because it is painful, but because it leads to strength. Now, let us talk about eliminating noise from your day. You must learn to protect your focus like a treasure, because that's what it is. In this distracted age, focus is the rarest and most valuable currency you possess. The average man cannot hold his attention for 5 minutes without reaching for a device. But you must be different. You must design your environment for deep work. That means your workspace should be clean, intentional, and free from constant interruptions. Turn off notifications. Block websites. Schedule your phone use. Do not allow technology to steal your future. Focus is not about willpower. It's about design. Make it easier to do what matters and harder to do what wastes your time. The man who builds friction into his bad habits and flow into his good ones is the man who gets ahead quietly, consistently, relentlessly. Now, what happens when your routine is disrupted? Life will test you. Circumstances will change. Travel, illness, family events, they will challenge your structure. But this is where you discover whether your routine is a crutch or a core identity. You must be adaptable without being derailed. If you cannot follow your full morning routine, then follow a condensed version. If your work schedule is interrupted, then reassign your priorities instead of abandoning them. The key is not perfection. The key is consistency in principle. Your commitment must outlast your convenience. Let me say this again. Your commitment must outlast your convenience. If you only follow your routine when it's easy, then it's not a routine, it's a hobby. And hobbies do not create wealth. Systems do. Standards do. Decisions do. This brings us to one of the most powerful secrets I have ever learned. Your routine must be a reflection of the man you want to become, not the man you currently are. You must act like the successful version of yourself before the world recognizes you. If that man wakes up early, you wake up early. If that man trains his body, you train your body. If that man reads, studies, writes, and leads, you must do all these things even if no one is watching, especially when no one is watching, because that is when the transformation occurs. Not in public, but in private. Not in applause, but in silence. You become wealthy long before the wealth shows up. You become successful long before the world calls you that. And you become powerful long before anyone gives you permission to be. So I ask you, what does the most successful version of you do every single day? Define it. Write it down. Now go live it today, not tomorrow. Rehearse it until it becomes your reality, and do it relentlessly. The man who does not design his day will live by default, but the man who designs it with intention will live by dominion. He will control his world, not because the world is perfect, but because his mind is. This is how you train yourself to become unstoppable. It is not through motivation. It is through construction. Motivation is fleeting. Structure is enduring. Now let me speak of wealth, since many ask how routine connects to riches. Wealth is not just money. It is peace. It is freedom. It is having options. It is living on your own terms. And every one of these things stems from self-command. The man who cannot control his day cannot be trusted with a fortune. He will lose it as fast as he earns it. But the man who masters his own schedule, who follows through on what he says, who shows up even when it's hard, he is the man to whom the universe will entrust abundance, because the universe respects order. It responds to clarity. It amplifies consistency. If your routine is chaotic, your results will be chaotic. But if your routine is structured, your results will be inevitable. Wealth flows to the prepared. It flows to the consistent. It flows to the responsible. And your daily routine is the mechanism through which you demonstrate all three. Now, understand this truth. Repetition builds identity. Every time you follow your routine, you are voting for the man you wish to become. Every workout is a vote. Every morning journal entry is a vote. Every deep work session, every disciplined choice, every intentional action, a vote. Eventually, those votes accumulate. And one day, you look in the mirror and you realize, I am no longer trying to be successful. I am successful because my life reflects the standards of a man who wins, not once in a while, but daily. There is no greater power than this. So I challenge you, build a routine so strong that you do not have to recover from your own behavior. Build a routine so consistent that others look at your life and assume you were lucky, when in truth you were just disciplined. Reprogram your day, and you'll reprogram your destiny. There comes a moment in every man's life when he must stop negotiating with his excuses. He must stop reasoning with laziness. He must stop seeking approval from mediocrity. That moment is the moment he decides, I am no longer available for a life that is beneath me. And from that moment on, his routine becomes sacred. A man becomes unstoppable not when he has the most talent, but when he becomes the most intentional. Talent is a gift. Intention is a decision. And it is your decision, repeated daily, that separates you from the crowd. What separates the man of greatness from the average man is not that he was born different. It is that he disciplines himself to live differently. He gets up before the world demands it. He works while others entertain themselves. He keeps promises to himself long after the excitement has worn off. This is the identity you must build. A man who lives with discipline, no matter the mood. A man who lives by design, not distraction. But listen to me, routine alone is not enough. You must connect your routine to a vision. Every action you take must reinforce the picture of your future. The man who gets up early without purpose is only half awake. But the man who rises early with vision, he is dangerous. He is clear. He is precise. He is focused. So let me ask you now, what do you want? Not in vague terms, not someday, but exactly. What does success look like for you in detail? What does wealth look like? What kind of house? What kind of work? What kind of contribution? What kind of peace? Because unless you can see it, you cannot structure your life toward it. Vagueness leads to procrastination. Clarity leads to action. Write your vision. Refine it. Review it daily. Speak it aloud. Build your routine around it like bricks around a foundation. Let every habit you design serve this vision. Every morning, ask yourself, what does the man I want to become do first? Then do that. Now understand this. Your routine must evolve with your goals. As your standards rise, so must your actions. The schedule that served you at one level will limit you at the next. You must upgrade not just your goals, but your systems. What worked when you were struggling to make ends meet will not work when you're scaling a business. What served you when you were chasing your first victory may slow you down when you're chasing legacy. This is not a flaw. It is a feature. Growth requires iteration. You must be willing to destroy your old routine to build a better one. This is where most people fail. They become attached to what used to work. But success belongs to the man who evolves, who adapts, who elevates. That is why your routine must never be based on comfort. It must be based on outcome. If a habit no longer serves your future, it must go. If a ritual is slowing your progress, it must be replaced. Loyalty to the future requires disloyalty to old patterns. Now let us talk about standards. Your routine is the visible evidence of your standards. You may say you want wealth, but if you hit snooze every morning, your routine is betraying your words. You may say you want success, but if your day is filled with distractions, your actions are revealing your truth. You cannot lie to the universe. Your routine reveals what you actually value. And what you consistently value, you will inevitably attract. So raise your standards and then align your habits with them. Do not wait until the world claps for you. Begin before the applause. Begin when no one is watching. Begin while you still doubt yourself. Begin while you're still awkward, uncertain, tired. Begin now. That is how men become great. The world is full of people who want success, but very few of them are willing to live successfully. And that begins the moment you stop compromising with comfort and start aligning with vision. Let me give you a practical key that changes everything. Time blocking. Every hour of your day must have a job. Your calendar should reflect your mission. If I asked to see your schedule, could I see your values on display? Could I see your purpose in the layout of your hours? If not, you are not in control. Distraction is. Time blocking is the art of assigning your purpose to each segment of your day. It prevents drift. It replaces reaction with creation. It makes your day intentional instead of accidental. Don't just work, block time for deep, undistracted output. Don't just read. Schedule your reading as a part of your mental conditioning. Don't just relax. Design your rest so that it fuels your body and sharpens your edge. And do not fall into the trap of thinking your routine must be rigid. Flexibility with focus is the formula. You are not a machine. You are a man with a mind, emotions, energy. Design your day to support that humanity, but do not surrender to your feelings. You must become the kind of man who keeps going when the fire fades, the man who shows up when motivation disappears. That is how you build the character to sustain success, not just achieve it. Because listen to me, short-term habits create temporary results, but long-term identity creates lasting success. This is not about one good week or one productive month. This is about becoming the man who lives productively by default. That means when adversity strikes, your habits still hold. When life throws chaos, your discipline still operates. When others are panicking, you are progressing. Because your life is built on something deeper than emotion. It's built on principle. You must decide now. Are you building a routine to impress others or to liberate yourself? Because one will lead to burnout and the other will lead to freedom. And freedom, real freedom, comes from self-command. Not doing whatever you feel like, but doing what your purpose demands. So I will ask again, what does your current routine say about you? Not your dreams, not your affirmations, not your desires, your routine, because that is the truth. Do you command your time, or does it slip through your fingers? Do you begin your day on offense, or do you check your phone and begin reacting? Do you invest hours into your mind, body, spirit, or do you give your best energy away to things that do not move your life forward? If your routine does not reflect excellence, it never will produce excellence. I am not asking you to live perfectly. I am asking you to live deliberately. To set your alarm not because it is fashionable, but because it's necessary. To review your goals not because a book told you to, but because you believe in your vision. To block time for your deepest work because the world needs your brilliance, not your busy work. Let your routine become a silent sermon about who you are. Let it speak so clearly that no one has to wonder whether you're serious. Because a man who lives with discipline makes people listen, even when he says nothing. And let your discipline become contagious. Let it raise the standard for your friends, your team, your family. When they see you live with intention, they will either rise with you or fall away. Either way, you will know you are walking in truth. There is no magic to success. Only structure, only systems, only the refusal to compromise. You must decide today, what is non-negotiable in my life? Then build your day around that. Make it unbreakable. Make it sacred. And if you ever feel lost, overwhelmed, discouraged, go back to your routine. It is your anchor. It is your compass. It is your declaration that you will not be ruled by chaos. Because the man who reprograms his day reclaims his destiny. You were not born to drift. You were not put here to live by reaction, to merely survive the hours handed to you each day. You were created to direct life, to command time, to shape your days into tools of power. But unless you reprogram your daily routine, your mind will wander and your destiny will scatter. Greatness is not a mystery. It is a method. The man who masters his days masters his future. If you want to predict where you'll end up in 5 years, do not look at your dreams. Look at your routine. Look at how you begin your mornings. Look at what you repeat each afternoon. Look at where your energy goes in the quiet hours of the night. Success is not complicated, but it is deliberate. The man who builds a life of freedom understands one thing above all. He must take full control of himself every day without fail. Now I want you to confront something honestly. If someone were to follow you for 24 hours, silently, no interruptions, what would they conclude you are becoming? Would your actions declare a man of vision or a man of confusion? Would your habits whisper wealth or echo distraction? You cannot lie to the structure of your days. They are a reflection of your true philosophy, and they will always deliver results, either regret or reward. If you want reward, you must move beyond the motivation phase. You must move beyond the inspiration phase. These are the sparks that start the engine, but they cannot sustain the vehicle. Only systems can. A system is simply a commitment on repeat. It is a decision you no longer negotiate with. It's the difference between trying and training. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. So build systems that protect your mind. Build systems that nourish your energy. Build systems that strengthen your resolve. A wealthy man protects his time the way others protect their money. A powerful man guards his schedule the way others guard their comfort. A successful man does not chase pleasure, he builds purpose. Let's return to your mornings, because they are the gatekeepers of your greatness. How you start your day is how you dominate your life. The first hour is sacred. It is not a time for reaction, it is a time for instruction. Before the world screams at you with emails, news, and noise, you must program yourself. Speak life into your mind. Review your vision. Move your body. Direct your focus. Set your intention. Do not let a single day begin without you taking command of your emotions and thoughts. A powerful morning ritual does not have to be complex, but it must be consistent. 5 minutes of silence to direct your spirit. 10 minutes of movement to activate your body. 10 minutes of focused reading to sharpen your mind. And 5 minutes reviewing your top priorities. That's 30 minutes to rewire your consciousness and aim yourself toward greatness. Do not underestimate what a small ritual, repeated with conviction, can do to the architecture of your entire life. And now, let's discuss what to eliminate. You cannot upgrade your routine unless you also delete distractions. Too many men try to add high-performance habits while still entertaining low-value behaviors. That will never work. Addition must be paired with subtraction. You must remove the people who waste your time. You must delete the apps that rob your attention. You must cancel the commitments that no longer align with your destiny. This is not cruelty. It is clarity. Every minute you waste on what does not matter is a minute stolen from what does. Cut the weeds. Create space. Make room for power. And in that space, you must install systems of renewal. You are not a robot. You are a warrior. And even warriors rest strategically. Schedule time to recharge your body with exercise. Schedule time to reconnect with silence. Schedule time to nurture relationships that elevate you. Rest is not weakness. Random rest is weakness. Intentional rest is strength. Protect your energy the way a general protects his army, because it is your fuel. Let's talk about wealth now. Because your routine must be designed not just for productivity, but for prosperity. Wealth is attracted to structure. Money flows to systems. Ideas become income only when they are placed into a container of discipline. You cannot earn like the wealthy unless you behave like the wealthy. You cannot think like the broke and expect to attract abundance. The man who earns consistently is the man who creates consistently. He doesn't just wait for the perfect mood or inspiration. He makes time, keeps the appointment with his goals, and ships his work. Set fixed hours each day for wealth creation. Whether that's building a business, investing, learning, marketing, block it and never negotiate with it. It's not something you try to fit in. It's a non-negotiable mandate. The mind that is aligned with prosperity begins each day with an offering of value. What can I create today that improves the world? That's the question that builds fortunes. That's the question that awakens genius. That's the question that transforms ordinary men into titans. So train your mind not to seek money, but to create value. Because money is a byproduct of usefulness. And the more useful you become, the more magnetic your life will be. Your routine, then, must place value creation at the center. Whether you are writing, speaking, solving, inventing, building, serving, do it with intensity and consistency. Let the habit of contribution shape the foundation of your workday. And remember this truth. Wealth is not just about what you make. It's about who you become. The man who reprograms his day reprograms his identity. He becomes the kind of man wealth feels safe around. And when you embody that identity long enough, the universe has no choice but to respond. You don't get what you want. You get what you are. So become the type of person who attracts abundance by how you show up when no one's watching. If you knew without a shadow of a doubt that your current routine would determine your financial future, how would you behave today? Would you still wake up late? Would you still scroll aimlessly? Would you still drift without clear outcomes? Or would you snap into focus? Would you rise early? Would you prepare your mind like a warrior sharpens his blade? Would you invest your energy into priorities, not popularity? Because that's what it takes. It takes becoming ruthless with time, generous with value, and consistent with your mission. I want you to remember something. Successful people don't just live differently because they're successful. They became successful because they lived differently, long before the results arrived. That is why your routine must reflect who you want to become, not who you currently are. Dress like the man you are becoming. Think like the man you are becoming. Move like the man you are becoming. Work like the man you are becoming. Live every day as if the future is already watching, because it is. And if you do this, If you truly reprogram your routine and align your life around purpose, then you will look up one day and find yourself surrounded by everything you once dreamed of. Not because it was magic, not because you were lucky, but because you designed it. Greatness is not found. It is not gifted. It is not discovered. It is constructed one habit at a time, one decision at a time, one day at a time. So rise. Rise like a man on fire. Rise like your future depends on it, because it does. And remember, no one is coming to do this for you. It is your mind, your time, your responsibility. Reprogram your day, and you will reprogram your destiny.